And we are live super early. Because why not? How are the people doing? Are the people here? Are there humans somewhere out there? Maybe? Probably not, but maybe. I think it's just me. Going insane. Talking to myself, probably. Which must mean I'm insane. I mean, sane people don't do that. Definitely not. Uh, how was I even doing this before? I think this was Cantor blue, black and white, blended all kind of, yeah. I had not put nearly enough water in my rinse jar. Oh yeah, I need my thinning mix. have to say, I'm quite glad the front tire popped off there. Actually get in here and do this, and I'll make a massive mess of it. Forgot about my Namatag Mao reference. Need that. Where did I save that? Because I realized I closed that at some point. There it is. Did I ever do is bomb piece and airside? Nope. Wait. Did I? No. Alright, still gotta figure that out. That's fine. Pardon me. Alright, that's all of that color. Now, let's see. Cantor blue there. You know, doesn't it need to be darker? A bit darker, yes. Trying to remember how I did a lot of this in the airside. This track is super. Oh no, now track's picking up. There we go. Alright. And now we make it look like Mel by putting white everywhere. Dude, all my thinning mix, it feels like it just drained right into the basin of the wood palette. It's annoying. So potato? Yeah, I'm early. A few reasons for that. So one was I had a meeting with one of my web dev clients earlier that was kind of just in the middle of the time I would normally be using to work on background stuff. I did get a little marketing done, but besides that, it was like, well, either I could put in the time to make a little bit of progress on one of the other, like one of the things on the list, if you will, or I could just start streaming. And it just kind of made sense to just start streaming. Plus, I really want to get those commission now. How you doing, Potato? I will do a stretch. So I've been painting for a half hour now, actually. I started a whole hour earlier. I'm pretty good. Feeling. Well, I mean, I was very high energy earlier, but now I've been sitting here effectively in silence pain for a half hour, so. It isn't a bad thing, it's just not quite as chip hooray or chipper and hip hip hooray. That's what my brain was combining. But yeah, overall, pretty good. Feeling good. Feeling optimistic and ready to do stuff. So I came out as a pleasant surprise. Yes. You coming in this early was a pleasant surprise. As you... normally, I feel like you usually join around, like, the 3 o'clock mark, I want to say. Right now, it's 1:30. It was definitely pleasant. Let's say that. Bereft of anything else, it was pleasant. Trying to remember, were you in the crazy mix Friday night when we went nuts? Usually sleeping, but no work today or yesterday, so me joining earlier is likely. Ah. Makes sense. My work schedule is 4:30 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Oh my. What time zone are you in, just for reference point to me? So I might have to get a sweater soon. Not this one. The sleeves are annoying me when I'm painting, but Central? Okay. So it's what, 12:30 right now for you? Let's see, what would the light? It's probably like this. It was 12:30 for you. Cool. So, yeah, I think you missed all the Friday night nonsense. I believe you've been... I believe you are aware of the whole Cash for Chaos thing. Not last night. It feels like last night. Weekend kind of just breezed by. Friday night, it really kicked off. You're aware of it. And it's Monday. Yeah, I know, right? This is where we got to Friday night with that. And all these colors up here, the pink and the rainbow there, are all actually UV paints. So if I do this, Unsurprisingly, we named him Old Pink Eye. So that's been going pretty well, actually. Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna grab a sweater. Getting a little nippy down here. To answer your question, yes. Yes, you can choose more than one part. Actually, the helmet and eyes, snap.
Forklift opening in sector 9. Oculus registering contacts number 87 rising. All exit stations. It's a Black Crusade.
What is up with that? It's set for 100 minutes. It's not been 100 minutes since I started. Jeez. That was supposed to be the Black Crusade thing that's supposed to happen every hour and a half or so that then turns off the cooldown for 30 minutes for people to put in tips for the chaos thing. But it's supposed to go off every 100 minutes, but it really doesn't, and I haven't figured out why. It kind of just goes off whenever it wants. Oh, no, not go off every 90 minutes. I originally set it to 100 because it missed when it was supposed to go off by 10 minutes. One time, and every other time I don't know. It tends to go off like early. Last 2 streams it's gone off early near the beginning of the stream, and then it goes off again somewhere around when it's supposed to. Anyway, alright, so what I was saying before before I get interrupted, which is, it's supposed to interrupt me, but it's supposed to interrupt me every hour and a half. And then there's a 30-minute stint where, like, the 20-minute cooldown after someone adds to the Cash for Chaos thing, that cooldown's turned off, so people can just, you know, go nuts. Alright, so, you can add to the counter if you want. The helmet here, not the spike. The helmet was non-metallic bronze and non-metallic metal, bronze, and glowing pink eyes for a single donation of $34. Well, may also... No, it's set up to only go when it's live. I mean, it's supposed to only go when it's live. The thing is on for that run only when live. You know what? I should really turn notifications for that specific channel off because I keep thinking it's something important. It never is. Stuff for my D&D, one of my D&D campaigns. Alright, anyway. So, yes, you can add up as many different things as you want in the list. The updated list... Actually, the panels are updated, actually. The panels are updated, I did update them. The Cash for Chaos thing in the Discord, that's updated. That's all correct. You can add up as many things as you want, do it in one big sum, and then I do all that stuff. Activating off stream is a default. Yeah. Yeah, no, I have the tab thing and mix it up. It sets it to only run when online. Now, it might still be playing as if it's offline. I'm just saying, like, I have the button set to where it's doing it correctly. So I don't know. I don't know. All right. Where was I? White. So yeah, in theory, someone could just drop, I don't know what the exact calculations are, but you could drop like $200 and just make me paint it like a normal Death Guard or like an Ultramarine or whatever, in theory. You was thinking about doing traditional art? That's where I was? I was thinking about doing traditional art? Was I thinking about doing? Oh, I do actually have a well, actually a digital art idea. When this first guy is done, I want to make digital art of him doing like the blood for the blood god poses from the meme and make it, you know, have it say memes for the meme god. Yeah. Very much like the... Actually, I'm seeing it get more ridiculous in my head. The... hold on, I gotta get like the GIF. One sec. I gotta show this. I gotta show what's going on in my head. This is probably dumb, but... Oh, that is a GIF, not a GIF. I actually need to save this anyway because I want to use this for sound alerts. I may have already used this for sound alert. No, GIF is actually the correct pronunciation. Listen, we've had this conversation. We've had this conversation on this channel like 6 times in detail. It's a GIF. Alright, I need to save this. So I need this later. And then I will show it on screen. It is coming. Okay. So we got the guy holding the skulls and then the blood up. You know I'm doing a sacri- Oh. And I'm thinking of having him in kind of a similar pose, but holding up smaller pictures of himself, almost like the stacking down mirror thing. That's an idea I just had. I don't know if it's the best idea. It might just be him going like this. Something like that. In any regard. I might be turning old pink guy into a mascot, is the point. Gonna have to get some good pictures of him before I send them off to ensure that I have references to work with. Oh no, not I mean maybe I'll make it animated, but no, I was just meaning the main like a single pick, because then I was gonna put it on merchandise. Because then it's something that's very specifically from this stream, this community kind of deal. It also actually gives the people that bought into this first one that didn't win the model itself an ability to end up with something physical out of it, now that I think about it. Depending on how long it takes me to do, maybe I'll just make a series out of turning all of them into some kind of weird digital art. Many ideas. Much idea. Many wow. I feel like the highlights on that weren't very crisp, but you know what? It'll be fine. Well, that one came out looking pretty good.
Water.
I will hydrate.
Water. Water.
Seems like an excellent idea to
Water.
me. Okay. I'm quite annoyed about that. Made my thinning mix and it just drained into the wet palette basin. Doesn't help me over there. Got to mention, love your hydrating, big fan of Avatar. Well, I mean, you should be. It's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Come on. Nah, that series is amazing. I need to refine that whole thing a little bit. Doesn't. I'm. I'm trying to figure out if. Well, I don't know how I want to do it. I'm getting annoyed with sound alerts. Their system of attaching audio to video is so incredibly crude and hard to make anything sophisticated in the sense of like proper timing, and it drives me nuts because I've done a lot of video editing and audio editing, thousands of hours. So like I'm very sensitive or hyper aware of timing with frames and stuff. It is like impossible to get good, reliable timing with sound alerts. So I'm trying to figure out if maybe, like I know in Mix It Up, for example, I could turn like everything into commands, but then you have like the channel points thing isn't really a thing. Oh, I think there's a currency system in there. I guess I could look more into that. But just like mix it up, I can actually set stuff to like seconds in length on both the visual and the audio level. I'm not guessing. Yeah, and the sound alerts is just the you can't adjust the audio length. So you're trying to adjust the GIF length to the audio length, but the GIF is just is playing on repeat over and over again. And it doesn't even necessarily always match your settings when you do test it on test in OBS. So it's just an absolute nightmare. I've adjusted the audio length in like on soundalerts.com. Yeah, I'm talking about soundalerts.com, like the website. Hold on, I'm gonna jump over there. Yeah, because like when you redeem points, right, through Twitch, like through the channel point system, and it does the sound alert. That's a sound alert that is through soundalerts.com, and I'm talking about their system. Mix It Up system is great. That's why I'm trying to figure out if maybe there's a way I can replace sound alerts entirely. The sound alert sucks. It's nice that they have that giant library of audio stuff that you can pull from easily, but if I put the time into it, I could get any audio stuff I want anyway. I already have OBS. I can only just find the audio on YouTube and record it. I've already done that a bunch, and I have plans to do more of it. And then I could actually get all these, you know, GIFs and alerts like perfectly refined to get all timed right and nicely. That stuff's just something I've always been pretty anal about. I mean, I remember as like a younger teenager, you know, like the gaming music videos and anime music videos. I didn't really watch much of the anime ones, but I watched a lot of gaming music videos. The ones I like best always had like the best timing, matching the cinematics to the beat of the music. So I've just always been very just like do it right. Do it. There is a correct way to do this. Rawr. Which actually should probably be no surprise considering how I paint and what I paint. Super small things to super high detail. Like, no way you're a little anal about details. I never would have guessed. When I'm passionate about something, I'm very anal about details. Now imagine you're like that, but about everything. And that is basically my head. I have to be straight up taking something completely as a joke to turn that off. That's actually caused me problems before. In sometimes really weird ways. I mean, you'd think doing electrical work, people would appreciate that. No, I was always told I was too slow. I was too slow because I did everything perfectly. That ticked me off to no end. I'm like, this is electrical stuff? And these are alarms? These are fire alarms in Rhode Island. The most anal state in the US about fire security or fire safety. And I'm being told I am too perfectionist. Nah, everyone wants stuff done now. Which I get, and I feel like there's a time and place for that. And that's not electrical. Alright, about to hit 2 o'clock. Alright. All my people. Where are all my people? Just join any minute now. I am all your people. Oh no. Did you eat them all, Mike? Is that what happened? Is that how you're all my people? I mean, that's pretty hardcore, man. Although I kind of applaud it, really. Yes. I'd imagine former tasted a little bitter and sigh a little salty. We shall call that epic Revenge of the Spud. That shark was rather tasty. Like actual like actually eating shark. Is that what you're talking about? I'm trying for the life of me, but I don't remember a regular in here named Shark. Spottiest Shark. Spottiest Shark. Oh yeah, okay, yep. Over in plushies. Right? Is that we Yeah. I don't think Shark's been over here. Guess I'm not cool enough for Sharky. Also the music stopped, I am aware. You were aware and chose to do nothing. Oh, yeah, because I have a very good setup on my brush. I need to take advantage of it. It's looking pretty good so far. Yeah, because the music's actually just non-copyright, or they say non-copyright, but half the time I get hit with copyright anyway. Uh, it's just videos on YouTube. You can see them anywhere one choice. Oh, maybe I just don't remember. Got a bit of a ringing in my ear. Might be the air pressure changing. Got a lot of weather fronts moving through right now. Got our first snow yesterday. Looks nice outside. Quite cold though. Makes me want to bundle up and play video games, honestly. Yeah, music's one of the other things I need to look into more. I still have a lot of stuff I gotta work on in the back end. Just none of them seemed like something that I could drastically improve in a single hour, so that's why I just start streaming early. What is that? What'd you do? Oh, Star Radio? What? I'll click in a second and find out what that's all about. See, one of the things is I need to look into Twitch's terms of service about music again. 'Cause I know YouTube is whatever. What's up, Sai? Song quest. I want to see if it would do anything. Don't worry about clicking. It's Christmas music. Oh, jeez. Yeah, nah, never mind. I refuse on personal grounds. Why is there some white there? Sai turned into an orc. Although Wa doesn't have any R's in it, so maybe not. I just got a message from one place canceling for the main campaign session, so I got today and tomorrow to think up and fully prep a D&D game. That sounds fun. Or you could just not do the session. Take some time off. I mean, are they paying you? I'd rather prep and play rather than not play at all. Alright, fair enough. That just came out dumb. D&D is a way to escape and have some timetable. I mean, you don't have to tell me that. I have 2 games every Saturday. My thing is that Sai is always doing D&D. He is never not doing D&D. I'm aware of what D&D can get you. I've been in the same campaign for nearly 6 years. It's the only real social interaction I get throughout the week, so... Oh, I guess we don't count, Potato. We don't count as socialization. I really wish I could join in D&D, and how dare we not count as socializing? Yeah. Dude, get on like Roll20 or something. You can just find a game that matches your schedule, because you can use the game finder to tailor to what game system you want to play, what time, like what scheduling. Then you can go through all the results, pick ones you like, put in applications, and then, you know, hopefully join a game that matches what you're looking for. I've had great success with it. I mean, it takes a little time and, you know, some effort, because, I mean, you know, you don't always get accepted for the games you want, but, you know, that's how it is with anything, really. I haven't done any D&D stuff since last Wednesday because I'd over-prepared and had everything already for the next session done. So my brain just still got plenty of reserves to make up stuff for next session. Okay, fair enough. It's just every single time I talk to you, Side, it's D&D. You're going a ham on D&D. So like, as far as my understanding of your life goes, you are just always doing D&D. If not playing, then writing. Oh, then again, I don't think I saw much of you Friday. To be fair, I mostly do D&D when I'm talking to you or others. Yeah, fair enough. Hey, crazy secret, I actually mostly only paid on stream now. I mean, granted, I'm streaming a lot. I stream a lot, but I find it kind of hard to paint when not streaming now. Some of that is because I'm doing so much like background work on the stream channel, but even when I have off time, I usually don't spend it painting now. Like, I am hardly making any progress on my Raven Guard. Which I figure is fine, because after this commission is done, I'm probably going to start getting a lot of progress done on the Raven Guard. Because that'll be the main thing I'm painting when people aren't paying for the Cash for Chaos thing. That being said, I am trying to get to the point where by the time I'm done with this commission, I am almost always doing the Cash for Chaos stuff. But we'll see how that goes. I'm trying to really push the marketing. Got my TikTok rolling. That's new. I don't write much D&D when I'm not watching like a specific few streamers. Something about talking about game makes it 10 times easier to write it. That's fair. And that being said, I got 4 players for the sci-fi game I'm writing, and all the characters done. So it's gonna be a fun one. Nice. Good. Oh yeah, I don't know when I lost my steel reference, but I use that now. Yeah, Potato apparently works a crazy schedule that leaves him basically only available, what was it, like Sunday, Monday, I think, realistically. Sunday is my date night with the potato goodness, the potato goodness, maybe. That misspelling can go in a lot of different directions. Godness. Godness is correct spelling? What is godness? No, you have goodness with another O, or goddess, you replace the N with a D. I do not believe you. Oh no, there's actually a word. What? Godness. Countable and uncountable plural godnesses. The state, quality, or condition of a god divinity. Godness is an established, if rather rare, English word, an obsolete synonym of godhead, reinvented in the 19th century to express divine, etc., etc. Huh. Well, learn something every day, I guess. Well, fine then. Man, it's starting to get like very cold. So what did I say, Si? Take a break. He's like, my mental reserves. Pulls out super tired troops, one after another. I keep hitting up. I'm trying to paint too small. I keep tapping that camera with my glasses. Commodore, another Caspian adventure. Wendigos. Nice. Too much prep. I'm gonna open my Grim Hollow book to a random page. Yes, mental reserves, clearly. I'm gonna press X to doubt. I think I'm actually doing a fairly good job right now, making stuff look metallic. I shall look at your book entry in just a minute. Entry. That reminds me, I still gotta think of what I'm gonna add to Bree's bestiary. I don't need to, I just have the points to do it now. Oh dear. No, I don't know about deer. The, don't open on stream? Noted. I will not put on screen. Ah. Yeah, that one nipple, man. I'll do it. Interesting. That's quite a thing. Well, no, Discord does have a problem with exposed nipples, even on men. Even drawn ones, in theory. No, did I say Discord? I meant Twitch. Twitch has a problem, but... Alright, I am almost done with the steel, and I got some bronze to do, or copper, or whatever. A more reddish non-metallic metal on the book details, and then the metal's done. And now I'm probably gonna start working on Crozius handle, because I think that's the last non-black thing left to do. Him with a triple Gawk 9000. My brain is not making connections. What? Man, I did such a better job highlighting the other one. I don't know what's happening here. I think I had too much paint on the brush. So in other words, to fight that thing, anyone with maces still need an actual sword for slashing damage. I mean, it is a tree. Usually maces don't work so well on trees. Found out last night to work pretty well on mud creatures though. Little mud tendril comes out of the swamp. I smack with my mace with Divine Strike, crit, and do like 30 something damage. I think probably had like 7 hit points too. Oh, yeah, ironically, because I don't have the character for it, but I am the player for it, my cleric DM might have just made me a threat. I mean, I'm already a level 11 cleric, so I'm pretty threatening anyway, but, like, potentially really bad depending on how this whole item system works. I mean, like, I had a glowing red eyes moment as a player. So we're going through a wizard's tower. We go up through a trapdoor into the next floor of the tower, and it's, well, it comes down to, like, complete magical darkness. So we get around the sorcerer casts, what was it, daylight or whatever the one that actually negates magical darkness on his hat. So we have like 60 feet light, 60 feet dim light. We begin adventuring through what it turns out to be effectively an entire swamp that is like fairly fey touched. Trying to find a way to the next floor. During one of my D&D one-shots, someone's killed a chicken god. Oh, I've killed a frog god. The frog was like the size of a 3-story building. Actually, this cleric was part of that. The chicken god sounds pretty funny, though. Did you fry it later? But anyway, so we're going through a swamp. It's all like standing water and mud and a lot of like plants, because this guy was an alchemist before he was a archmage or top wizard, whatever. Before he was a really famous wizard, he was an alchemist. So he has this whole swamp to cultivate super rare plants and stuff. Alright, fair enough. At one point we come up to a hill. So we climb the hill. At the top, there is an easel, and a canvas, and a sack of pigments and mediums. I think you might be knowing where this is going. Why, yes, if you paint things on the canvas, they may come into reality. Not always exactly how you intended, because it doesn't seem to mix well with other magical effects, and you do have to put the canvas into a specific enchanted metal box that was initially buried into the ground. I since dug it up because I took that entire setup with me. I was like, hey, where's the bag of holding? I am taking all of this. I claim this as my loot. Chicken got exploded. A new session themed around these guys. Wretched Reveler. I think I've heard of these. I've heard something akin to these. I don't know if it was these, but this seems about right. Oh, you know what I haven't done that I should do? Is put a timer just explaining the Cash for Chaos thing. Duh. I'm gonna do that through Stream Elements where my other timers are, because those at least seem to be working reliably. Sorry, I'm just writing up this timer because I realized we should probably have this. Okay. A decent amount of variance to these guys, and I think it's an interesting theme singing around with that. Cool. But yeah, basically how we got out of that room with the swamp was by me painting a trap door, which then appeared in the ceiling, and then me painting a rope ladder rolled up to then unfurl down to us. Among a bunch of other nonsense that we're still not exactly sure what it means, but some nonsense definitely happened. Oh yeah, no, I was straight up given, like, Graham, my cleric, doesn't have any dexterity or performance capability. So not quite my paint-based character, but I was straight up given an enchanted easel and canvases that could just manifest things I painted. They don't have to be painted nicely, actually. I painted the trap door as just a rectangle with a little circle for the knob. Because I was trying to paint a door, and it turned into a trap door, like the others we had gone through. But inferred my meaning and actually detailed out in pretty significant detail the results of that. Then I tried painting the very powerful arcane item that we were in that wizard tower specifically to look for. That didn't work well, but it didn't ruin any of the arcane stuff. It just made a lot of weird stuff happen. So can't cheese the quest. And in the process, I also I'm not sure if it was because the fact I was trying to paint a face stone, or if it was because of the magic, the anti-counterfeit magic in the kingdom, but I tried painting some gold just to see what would happen, and that didn't go particularly well either. So it's not an instant win button, but it can definitely do some cool stuff, and I intend on experimenting with it. And the way we made it so it wasn't super meta was actually one of the other players pointed this out. My background is I was the son of an up-and-coming merchant family that nearly... No, but I'll explain what it did do exactly in a second, and then it'll make sense as to why it didn't exactly make gold, or gold coins anyway. But my character's background is he was from an up and coming merchant family that was ascending into nobility. So my character grew up fairly well off, so had stuff like, could do stuff like art and stuff. So he was able to know what he was looking at, because I even said, like, guys, I am professionally an artist. I am surrounded right now by paints and brushes. How do I not meta the hell out of this? And then the ranger was like, well, you guys from a all but nobility background. Like, I'm pretty sure he would know art to some degree. Alright, yeah, that makes sense. Fair enough. I don't think I did a very good job with the reflections here. Alright, so what did happen? So we were after a very rare item called a face stone. I'm pretty sure is homebrewed. It's created when something dies in the process of like translating from the material plane to the Fey plane because of how souls leave and go elsewhere between the two. So it creates like a lot of energy and eventually spits out this thing called a face stone. What kind of stuff can you draw? Well, it's just a canvas with a bunch of paints, and the paints don't appear to be where the magic is coming from. So just anything, in theory. So when I painted the door. This was my first go. I panned a door, then I panned a face stone from the descriptions I had. Then I panned a little pile of gold coins. The door appeared as a trapdoor leading up, exactly what I would have wanted. In a trapdoor in the ceiling going up to the next room. Didn't have a way to get there, but I figured it out later. Then So we have these things called Tandy wands. They're pretty integral to the story. Tandy wands are these wands developed by a Tandy Nasty. His last name is Nasty. I'm not even joking. As super affordable means of getting magic in the hands of basically anyone. Like very cheap wands of... I have not seen a wand that does better than like 4th level magic, but that's still pretty strong. Most are 1st level though, or cantrips. So a lot of people use him and stuff, and it's made him super rich. But we've been rivals of him. I actually have an oath of vengeance against him. I'm not a paladin, and it's because one of my goddess' domains is vengeance. So I have an oath of vengeance on him for all this super complicated story stuff. But anyway, we've been tailing him and researching into how he made these things and all this stuff. So it's a super big conspiracy that we have only just started really uncovering going on here, and we believe he has been making these tandy wands out of shards or small Fey stones, and it's been causing all these problems with the Feywilds that are currently closed off by the Queen of the Fey, and it's this whole like big thing happening. So when I panned a Fey stone and activated the canvas, we have a hired rogue with us to help us through the wizard's tower because we don't have a rogue type to deal with traps and stuff in our party. So we hired one because we're level 11. We have resources and connections. She had a tandy wand on her, so it popped out of her clothes and flew to the side of the hill because we were a little bit down the hill at this point. As did all of our money sacks. This world has a pretty sophisticated banking system, so we only had like pocket change on us for the most part. But our pocket change all flew out and scattered all over the side of the hill. And then the tandy one started going mad. Just stuff just spawning, just random, not like here's a tooth, here's an eyeball, here's a living rat, here's an inside out fish, here like all those gold pieces, some of them just started like folding in on themselves and other ones fold in half and start flying away like a butterfly, and just like complete madness. Oh, hey, ATT. Sorry, I didn't see you come in. I was telling a story. So our ranger dives forward, grabs the wand to try to get under control, has this weird vision he hasn't had a moment to talk to us about yet because it needs to be in private and not in front of our hired help, because we have other hired help on this mission besides the rogue. And, but yeah, I was like, okay, so we need this little box in the ground to throw the canvas in. So I'm gonna dig that up, which is fine because so my cleric's like pretty strong, and he's always had this thing where he has a large backpack covered in like every kind of weird tool and other nonsense. Like it's kind of become a meme now, his portable ram. But he has shovels, pickaxes, chains, ball bearings, caltrop, like all this crap. Just in case, and I've used like half of it at some point or another. Because why not? I can carry it. Not a big deal. So I pull out my digging stuff and I dig it out. So now I've got this metal box that's enchanted, this canvas that's enchanted, or actually no, we have two canvases that are enchanted. Because we found one that was already painted on. But the thing about canvases is you can just whitewash them. Start over. It's not a big deal. And an easel that appears to be enchanted, and I grabbed the paints because convenient. Already some pigments and mediums and stuff there. Alright, chat. I can't do some more groups. Basically, I extend you the offer even though it's pretty short notice. This guy, no, I cancel my action. Oh, well, there you go, Potato. If you want to try Sai out, he's pretty funny to play with. I've done a one-shot with him before. I can recommend. Is there any chance of Mike meeting Caspian if he joins for this one-shot? A Magic Easel sounds like it could definitely be broken. Well, not really in this world. This is an extremely well fleshed out homebrew world where it says busy. Oh, you were talking to me. Oh no, I'm pumping the streaming hard. That's like all I care about now. Because if I can make a decent bit of money, if I can make a decent bit more soon off the chaos stuff, I'm hoping I can actually get, you know, some Christmas shopping done. I kind of feel bad. I think Above the Tabletop joined, and then I was just rambling, and so he left because I didn't I didn't say hi. So I was telling my D&D story. Right, yeah. No, I am also prioritizing work. Alright, how's this looking? That looks pretty good, I think. It's probably not perfect non-metallic metal, but I think it definitely gives you the right impressions.
Rushing off to fight, you're gonna need the right equipment. Without the right equipment, Billy, you're just a hollow, mark-ass, trick-ass, little-ass, pussy-ass bitch.
True. Which is why I'm using a Monument Hobbies Pro Sable Size 1 brush that, if memory serves, Mike paid for directly. Earmarked for this brush, for which I am grateful. But yeah, it's quiet now. Usually things pick up towards the end of this. I don't have dinner tonight, so I can stream right up to the dinner bell, and then I'll probably stream longer than usual tonight as well. We'll see how it goes. Where is your mod right now? Oh, I don't know. I got 2 mods. I don't know if you remember this, but my mods don't have to do much, so I don't really try to ensure they're around super hard. Venom's around a lot, so that's good enough. It's just not like I need a mod to deal with the 2 of you. No, mods we pot, yeah. Even with mods you get around. You guys asking about Venom? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like he was mentioning something about work being a bit crazier right now. I don't remember. Is the beginning of a gang like properly cold and stuff, and he works the power grid down in Texas, so now would be when things start getting a little crazy for him. Alright, I need to do copper. Let me look at that. So kind of what I did last... no, it wasn't last night. I keep thinking Friday was last night. Weekend just disappeared on me. Let's hope it don't blow up. The grid? Yeah. That'd be bad. Because then I definitely wouldn't be getting a mod. So I'll grab some Mornfang Brown and some red, and we're gonna go for really... I'm gonna do basically the exact same approach, but just brown instead of... a reddish brown instead of blue, I think. I get a good amount of brown here, so I have enough. I still have Bree. I do still have Bree. Bree's around a lot less often, but she comes in every now and again. That was... I actually made her a mod as kind of a joke, because she decided to make me a mod on her channel. Because for like 10 seconds I was helpful, like one time. Gotta make some breakfast and deviled eggs. I mean, enjoy. I don't care for deviled eggs, but it is food, so go for it. Told me just happened to be hard boiling a bunch of eggs on my young cup of breakfast. Oh, alright, fair enough. What I've been doing lately is grabbing these big ground sausage links and grinding some up and then cooking them, mashing them up into like little bits, and then I toss eggs in and I scramble the whole thing. What's that wink for? I feel like that's going somewhere specific. Big, thick, round sausage links. Yeah, they're also ground, so I don't think that's quite what you're looking for. Oh yeah, no, I said ground, not round. To be clear, I said large ground sausage links. Yeah, that's pretty close to the color I want. A little bit more brown in there. Brown sausage links sounds interesting. Well, they weren't even necessarily like linked together. They just had that intestinal, what do you call it, wrapping, the tubing, intestinal tubing. So I would cut them in half. I'd pull the intestinal tubing off, and then I'd toss them in a link vibes. Yeah, you seen the ground beef had link vibes? I mean, maybe. I think it's going off in a lot of weird directions for me just describing how I make breakfast. I'm over here thinking food. All you people are just becoming degenerates. You know what? That's fine. So anyway, I take the sausage, toss it in a cast iron skillet, grind it up so it's like in little bits, so like further, you know, like actually ground. Toss a couple eggs in there, scramble it all together, cook it up till I have scrambled eggs and sausage. Have that with a couple pieces of fruit. Good to start the day. We already established this, Potato. Your degeneracy you bring over as a passive aura effect from being a mod in Plushy's channel. So I'm pretty sure the first time ever my chat became super degenerate was right after you came in for the first time. Just changed my name to Sausage Grind Me. What, you mean like in the Discord, or? It's not his Twitch name. His Twitch name is still Cyborg's there. I think it meant in the Discord. Yeah, it's fine. We're just gonna lean into this, like, meme, the meme verse. Degenerate memeing. Everything's just memes from here on out. So I kind of just, when I thought about it, I'm like, that's what 40K is, really. It's just a bunch of history and trope memeing. Like, fiction trope memeing. It's all memes. It's 100% memes. Like, orcs have a Cockney accent. Come on. They were straight up admitted to being based off of the like mega football fans in England and how they just become absolute ruffians. And then Gazgul Mac Uruk Thraka, the greatest orc war boss in known history. I say known history because he's not a quark. Is somehow apparently named after Margaret Thatcher. Like 40K originally, while also being the sci-fi port of Warhammer Fantasy, originally was also like late 80s, early 80s. I think it was early 80s actually. Early
Rushing off to
80s.
fight, you're gonna need the right equipment. Without the
Again?
right equipment, Billy, you're just a hollow, mark-ass, trick-ass, little-ass, pussy-ass bitch.
I was thinking in private, but if you want to do it publicly on Discord, jeez. I did just explain the brush, by the way. It's a funny, it is a funny soundbite though. But yeah, it's all a bunch of historical and political satire. 40K. It's a ton of political satire. So much political satire that a lot of people like to forget that it's satire and try to make actual moralistic and political judgments on it like idiots, and then get shown as idiots pretty quickly. Man, I remember as far back as like 2014, 2015, the SJWs just realizing, oh,
I'm
40K makes a
colorblind.
kind of good target. The paint I'm using right now is a mix of Mornfang Brown, Corn Red, and Army Painter Matte Black. It's like there's a whole lot of, the Imperium is fascist. No, it's not. Not even close. It's a federation headed by an oligarchy, while also being very theocratic. Like, literally theocratic. In addition, that's only giant top-down decisions. On a day-to-day basis, every planet is free to rule itself however it cares, as long as it pays the imperial tithes. So if you're actually concerned about how awful most of 40K looks like for the average human, you can blame that on the imperial governors. Or the planetary governors, I mean. But there's literally an entire classification. I'm just going off on a whole rant about 40K lore now. There's actually a whole planetary category called civilized worlds, and some of them look just like ours. Very reasonable. Macragge, the base planet for the Ultramarines, is a very clear-cut meritocracy. You go up ranks solely based on your performance. They do not give a crap about anything else. They will promote and demote based on your results. I think that's very fair. And from all accounts, people on Macragge, despite it being constantly invaded as being the home of the Ultramarines, people are happy there. They do well. They have purpose. They work hard. They're super loyal to the Imperium and the Ultramarines. They think stuff's great there. Actually doesn't sound like a bad place, all things considered. It's just a lot of the stories in 40K are based in the really terrible places because they make for interesting stories. It wouldn't be a super interesting Warhammer 40,000 story if it took place in a world that just looked like ours, basically, with the occasional use of anti-grav. Oh yeah, actually... Oh, well, yeah, I'm not on the highlight part, so I need to just hit the... horn bits? So, the Imperium of Man is headed by a council called the High Lords of Terra. The High Lords of Terra's job is to literally oversee the things that affect the entire Imperium. That's their job. These are made of the heads of the Ministorum, the Administratum, the Imperial Guard, the Imperial Navy, the Assassinorum, the Mechanicus, etc. All the heads of the largest organizations, many of them are governmental entities. The Inquisition, right? And they make the giant decisions. When a founding of Space Marines occurs, when are we going to make a bunch of new Space Marine chapters? When are we going to call the really big crusades? I mean the big ones. There's this giant new threat over in Segmentum Obscurus. What are we going to do about it? Stuff like that. After that, then you go down to the different organizations. You have the Space Marines and their worlds. You have the Mechanicus and their Forge worlds. You have the Knight worlds. You have a bunch of worlds that are, for very specific purposes, effectively owned by specific organizations. You have worlds that are owned by the Ministorum, by the Administratum, and therefore supersized prioritization of effectively, government work of one kind or another. After that, everything else... Oh, and you have penal worlds, which falls under the Arbites, which oversees, like, large-scale governmental law. Then, after that, everything left over is based on imperial, planetary governors. And the Imperium really doesn't care about them specifically or the style of government. You just have to be able to pay your tithes. Your tithes are based on raw resources and people for, like, say, the Imperial Guard, Imperial Navy, etc. And Psychers. After that, they don't give a crap. Be communist, be capitalist, be super authoritarian, whatever. Councils and democracies, and, like, we've seen all of these in the lore. What kind of book is that person carrying around? Oh, good question. I'd imagine this is a relic tome of a bunch of lore of that Space Marines chapter. Got some blue on there. I don't appreciate that. Yeah, fix that. So yeah, name a type of governmental system and you will find it somewhere in the Imperium because it literally covers... Like, the official phrase is 1,000,000 worlds, although I would argue it's many more than that, but sure, fair enough. Ancient evil book that's being taken to be burned, but they can't do where they at because it's likely to explode. No, because he's riding with it into battle. Especially because ancient evil books, those would be handled by the librarians, not the Reclusium, which is the organization of chaplains. Chaplains deal with the spiritual purity of the Battle Brothers. The librarius deals with stuff from the warp. So if you see a librarian with a chained up book that looks kind of weird, that's probably an evil book, maybe. But this one, especially because it has a bit of like a cross, the crucifix looking thing on it, I'd imagine this is some kind of holy relic of the chapter. Not holy. Most Space Marines don't do the whole holy thing, but a revered a venerable relic of the chapter. Yeah, I think just doing the book in bronze or copper, whatever, this was the way to go. Perhaps has a spell on it that's too powerful broken by a single librarian, so he's taking it to a group of librarians. Why would it be strapped to his bike, though? Like, you want to get to somewhere else. They have ships and Thunderhawks and... Like, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just explaining why, like, I'm not sure where the logic would be considering the setting. There are better ways of doing this. He needs to get there fast. Faster than a Thunderhawk? A Thunderhawk is a troop carrier and gunship that is space capable. For reference. Just for reference. Also, they're huge, very well armed, very well armored. And can also carry a bunch of other dudes to help guard said book. Now, I suppose there is one option. I could see that happening. The music ended, I'm aware. And that is, he needs to bring it to one librarian in particular who's in a war zone and they can't get aerial assets there. That would work. That would make sense. Pull out a little bit of medium on us. A little bit less wet. A little bit less moist. It's like the idea is evil book that needs to be destroyed / burned. Fair enough. At the end of the day, this isn't even my mini, so like that'll be on that player to figure out. He might agree with you. Storytime streamer's choice. Samurai. Hi, Samurai. Alright. Let's talk about... I was just talking about the planets. Let's do... Man, every time this happens, my brain just goes blank. You know what? I was playing some Battlefleet Gothic Armada last night. I haven't played that game in a while, and I've never actually gotten to the point where I get to fly the big ships, so I'm going to talk about the Imperial Navy a bit. So it's kind of on my mind. So the Imperial Navy, which used to be the naval assets of the Imperial Army back in the Great Crusade, but then they got split up after the Horus Heresy to make it that much harder for anyone to turn traitor and be able to wage war efficiently, as the Imperial Guard wouldn't have any way of getting off planet, and the Imperial Navy wouldn't have any way of taking over planets, because they would have no planet-side forces. The best they would have is a bunch of armsmen using weapons designed to be used inside ships, which are usually stuff like shotguns and low-velocity submachine guns.
Warp Rift opening in Sector 9. Oculus registering contacts number 87 rising. All range of stations. It's a Black Crusade.
Speaking of Battlefleet Gothic Armada, Black Crusade has started, so all of the... That was 90 minutes. That was 90 minutes. So for the Cash for Chaos thing... By the way, how's the volume on that? But the Cash for Chaos thing, there is now no cooldown for the next 30 minutes, which I will set a timer for that. Sai is going full degeneracy today. This Warp Rift opening, yeah. No, I caught what you were getting at. Believe me, the joke landed. I am aware. I need my reference again, because these corners, for some reason, are super hard to get, like, realistic looking reflections on them. Here we go, I'm gonna use... What? Oh. Sorry, I'm messing with stuff. Here we go. Yeah, alright. This I can work with this. So where's I? Imperial Navy. I don't know where I'm going with the whole Imperial Navy thing, but yeah. What I feel like I'm finally starting to figure out the combat in there in Battlefleet Gothic Armada though. Boop. Yeah, join the Discord if you haven't. You'll actually get notified when I go live. Unlike with Twitch, which is very all over the place. As well as updates on everything that's going on. You know what? How about this? This will help me get some direction on this. Mike, pick a topic about the Imperial Navy, as I know you don't know much about 40k lore. At least I don't remember you knowing much about 40k lore. Ask something about the Imperial Navy. But the space forces of the Imperium. I mean, you know, it's just, yeah, anything about a sci-fi navy would apply effectively. So it can be a super simple, basic question. You may be a table, but I am a chair. Oh boy. Only imagine what that image is. I mean, I've been on the internet for over 20 years. I actually am pretty sure I can imagine a worse than whatever that is. It's probably still pretty degenerate. What is their motto? What do they fight for? Actually, that's a good question. What is their official motto? I mean, okay, so they fight for the Imperium. They fight for the Imperium. They fight for humanity. The Imperium of Man is effectively humans in the Milky Way. They represent the single largest, by a massive margin, faction of humans. Everyone else falls into like 3 categories that are human. Hold on, I'm looking up the Imperial Navy motto. Oh, that's Star Wars. Nope, 40K. Do they have a motto? That's a good question. I don't think 40K has a motto. They don't have a motto. They're known in High Gothic as the Navis Imperialis. And back when they were a part of the Imperial Army, they were called the Armada Imperialis. But yeah, so in 40K, humans are either part of the Imperium, they're followers of Chaos, they're Guevesa in the Tau, which is a very small portion even within the Tau, or you have like a couple small tiny pockets of humans outside Imperial space with their own worlds and stuff. But like the Imperium stretches to almost every dimension of the galaxy, so those are very few and massively far between. To the point that, yeah, they've never been mentioned. So you have either sane humans that are with the Imperium, or you have psycho humans which are with Chaos, and those are the only ones that really matter. So the Imperial Navy fights for humanity and for the God Emperor, like everyone else in the Imperium. So if you want to fight for the Emperor, as you should, in space, you join the Imperial Navy. And actually, compared to a lot of places in the Imperium, the Navy's a pretty good gig. You will get paid. You actually have like if you're a volunteer, you have not the worst conditions, not by a long shot by Imperial standards. It might be a little questionable today, but we have it pretty good in comparison. And you have opportunity for ascending in the ranks, and in a lot of, loyal regions in the Imperium, you'll be, when you dock and you go on shore leave, you'll be treated as a hero. Ooh, Chaos? Might just go with Chaos? I mean, you can go with absolute psychotic horrors. Actual literal horrors of Chaos, if you wish. There are reasons to do so. I don't think they're very good, but they are there. Problem is that it's not sustainable. In weirdly the same way that it will never go away. Alright, so I feel like I have to explain Chaos, and how Chaos works. And why, even though in real life I'm all about, like freedom in every way, and Chaos is supposed to represent freedom, especially like freedom of expression, freedom of the ability to gain power based on your own capabilities. I am not a follower of Chaos. Chaos is never sustainable. No, the most sustainable thing you can get is a balance between order and chaos. Which in 40K is more just like a stalemate of the two trying to kill each other. And succeeding quite a bit, but never enough to sway it in one way or another. But here's how chaos works in 40K. First off, you have the warp. The warp is a fifth dimension on top of that's like a second skin on top of reality. And in there is the realm what was called the Sea of Souls. And that's where souls go. It's where psychic energy goes. So like every emotion, every thought, every idea, every dream you've ever had, that anyone's ever had, materializes in the warp. That's where the energy is. So it's always been that way, since before humans were even a thing. Millions of years ago, there was a war. I mean, this is not really story time, because this is basically the entire premise of Warhammer. Millions of years ago, you had what was called the War in Heaven. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on that. That can be its own story time. We had the War in Heaven that involved trillions, quadrillions of casualties. You had entire new sentient species tailor-made for this war. It's actually where the Eldar and the Orcs come from. From this war. And
you ready for weird story time? I'm ready for weird story time.
Go into the story of the War in Heaven? Okay. Alright, so exact timeline, it's about 40 million years ago, right? You got this planet. I don't remember if there was a name for it or not. Doesn't really matter. You have this planet, and it is awash with radiation from its sun. Like, it sucks. It's pretty bad. Yet, somehow, life has come about on it. And that life hates its life. That life is called the Necrontyr. Now, there's some debate about whether or not the radiation problem was a thing before or after they evolved. I'm assuming after, because if they evolved with the radiation being a problem, they should not have what happened to them happen. Which is that they hated life because all the radiation meant they always had cancer. I mean, straight up literal radiation caused cancer. Their lives were short, painful, miserable. Their cities, their actual living cities, were mausoleums. Everything they did was in some way related to death, because they were all on a very, very unignorable timer. Yet, over time, they developed technology, and they looked out into space and was like, let's get anywhere else. Anywhere else. Yeah, it was more like they should have been able to live like roughly like a human's lifespan, but like an old one was like 40. Like a real old one. So they had like human development and growth times, but were knocked off well before 40 by cancer, like without question. Yeah. Also painful, because radiation sickness. Like, acute radiation sickness is considered one of the worst fates ever. Because it takes a while, and it's impossible to administer painkillers effectively, because once your body starts to, like, literally decaying while you're still inside it, what are you gonna do? What's actually gonna function? We used to live to only 40, 50. No, but like that, but you always have cancer. Often in multiple places. Like, painful, obvious, full-on cancer. Imagine everyone had minimum stage 2 cancer. Oh yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, I wasn't joking about the cancer thing. I mean, literally, they all, like, you start life with, like, stage 2 cancer. Like, yeah, because you're always just bathed in horrific amounts of radiation. Oh yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, these people called the Necrontyr, they had it bad. They had it pretty friggin' bad. And what's worse is that they started getting off their world very slowly at first. You know, like you would think. You know, you get your cryo ships, and you go takes thousands of years to get to another planet. They get to other planets. They start colonizing space around their system. And guess what they find out? Removing themselves from the sun did not save them from the sun. It is now part of their genetic makeup. Their genetic makeup has been so damaged. Yeah, it looks like there's no session at this point, unless one of the other people get back to me randomly before a halfway point of my day. Oh, wow. So... yeah, their genetic... they always have cancer. Yeah, no, they're screwed. Like, yeah, they remain even on another world without getting bathed in the radiation. Their genetic makeup is so screwed that they are guaranteed just life of cancer. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, no, it is. So they're very salty, as you can imagine. However, you know, they still continue to push. They continue to strive. Like, actually, it had some pluses. Like, for example, they didn't really have much in the way of warfare between it. Like, they had some, but like when they figured out, when they had that Galileo moment of like, okay, it's the star that's doing this to us, and we can get elsewhere. The entire population came together and like hard rushed their planetary get off this world development. Like, yeah. Then they deteriorated again when they realized that wouldn't save them. So fast forward a little bit, and they eventually meet. I'm not really paying right now because I just ended a step, so I'm telling this story while also planning my next step, because I finished the book. I'm calling the book done, which fits in nicely actually. The copper I think looks pretty well. Oh, I never started the timer. I inputted the timer and I never started it. I think it's like at like 15 minutes now. I don't know. Whatever. No one's really putting in a lot of interest in it right now, so it doesn't super matter. But anyway. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna be doing this now, but I have to figure out the colors. I have to do some experimental blending. The book should probably have some color. It actually does. It has some subtle browns. I could do more with that though. It did get undone a little bit previously. I was trying to make it just very dark leather, but like a pretty realistic dark leather. So it's very subtle. But yeah, no, I'll work on that a bit. Anyway, so after a little while, the Necron tier run into this other race called the Old Ones. I smoketh the devil's lettuce. It is time. I don't know what for, but it's certainly time. It is a time. I can agree with you on that. So they run into this other race called the Old Ones. The Old Ones, super old. In case you couldn't tell. Super old, super advanced. They make the forerunners of Halo look like newcomers. They're immortal, unimaginable technological capabilities, everything. So obviously the Necrons are like, hey, Old Ones, can you like help us? Can you make us like immortal? Because we'd like to not be dead. Now, the Old Ones had this kind of like Star Trek-ish kind of viewpoint of like not messing with life around the universe, like letting it evolve as it will, because they were at the point where they could easily just do whatever they wanted. Well, it turns out I'm gonna prep stuff anyways, which fair enough, sometimes you gotta. So... yeah, ha ha ha. Yeah, I'm assuming that's at the Old Ones. Yeah, the Old Ones are basically told them to screw off, because no, that would mess with their development, and they don't do that. So, salty Necrons be salty. the Necron tier, salty Necron tier be salty Necron tier. They did not take that very well. So, at that time, the Silent King, what was his name, Zarek? I think it's something like Zarek. The Silent King the absolute overlord of the Necron tier, is dealing with problems of his domain falling in, like threatening civil war with each other over like just random nonsense. There's a lot of like court intrigue type of stuff with the Necrons. They're very like old Egyptian themed in a lot of ways. So like imagine a little of that sprinkled in with everything else. So he's like, oh man, I gotta like, you know, my realm is falling apart. You know what? You know what unites pretty well? A war. Let's start a war. Because man, I bet everyone can agree that we hate the old ones for not helping us more than we hate each other for whatever stupid nonsense they're fighting about right now. So they did that. They declared war. And at first, they did like okay. And then when the old ones actually decide to actually try, they start doing really, really, really bad. They were getting crushed. They got pushed right back to their home system. And they were back under that sun again. So salty Necron tier be uber salty now. And then it happened. They found something with their higher technology, once more looking at their sun, wondering what they can do about that blasted ball of plasma that was the reason for all their pain and suffering. They heard a voice. They heard a voice but couldn't quite make it out, and so they did some research and found there was an entity feeding on their sun. A sentient, gaseous being that came to be known as the Catan. Or a Catan, anyway. It was one of many, like, there's all species of them. Oh, the old ones decimated Necron tier. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, they tore Necron tier apart. Like, so when they started that first War of Heaven, there's actually like 4 wars in heaven, actually. The first one, old ones knocked out like the Necron's entire like interstellar empire, and they were back stuck to their home system. So the so they find this Catan, which by the way can be translated in Necron tier to either mean star god or star vampire. So they start talking to this Catan, and the Catan's like, I have so much power. And I also don't like the old ones. I don't remember why they don't like the old ones. But I don't like the old ones. Let us unite. And I think I can even help you. Let me go get my buddies, and we're gonna fix your mortality problem. This part of the basically new party comes up with a group of hard souls to let us help them fight some ogres for a cut of the pay, and the entire time in combat we've been sabotaging and selling stuff here and there, accidentally hitting them in the AoE, using our restore balance feature to remove the disadvantage from an enemy attacking them because they can't collect bounty. That's kind of funny. You know what, actually I think the book looks kind of good like that, honestly. I don't think I really need to do much else to the book. Maybe a little bit of highlighting on the bottom bit. I think it's either turn the music down or voice a little up. A little hard to hear the music turn on. I think it was that one track was going pretty loud. Alright. Mike, are you still caught up on the story? You know what's going on? Catan is like, let me grab some of my buddies. We're gonna fix your mortality problem. So the Necron tier, in order to allow these gaseous beings to interact with, the material universe, well, they create these massive metal bodies out of living metal called necrodermis. And the Catan inhabit these metal bodies. And before, they were basically just gas and energy beings. Now that they had physical form, though, they had an insane amount of power. They were gods of the material realm. They thought, and it became. They spoke, and reality shifted. And they looked upon the Necrons and were like, yes, let us go to war. Now, there was a little bit of time in between. I'm trying to remember how this part of the timeline worked, but effectively, the Catan learned that, you know what's more appetizing and nutritious than star stuff, what they were feeding on before? Souls. Souls are more yummy. You know what makes them even more yummy? When you spice them with fear, terror, and pain. That makes them especially yummy. So they had started experimenting with eating the Catan. I'm not the Catan, eating the Necron tier. Individuals here and there, often tortured. Massively. But then the whole war thing came up, so they're like, okay, we will make you immortal and give you all the technology you could ever need to bring these old ones to bear. And they did. They fixed all the Necron tier's problems, all of them, by making these giant flesh forges where a Necron tier went in, usually in chains, and Necron came out. Metal, soulless, unsleeping, unpausing, unthinking, unfeeling death machines. These souls were eaten up by the Catan in en masse. And yeah. The now the nobles, because, you know, in a society like that, you have to have a pretty strong will to get to a point of power anyway. Nobility of the Necrons maintained a good bit of their consciousness and remained, you know, having some character. But the average rank and file Necron tier, they were now, well, automaton, effectively. But they didn't have cancer anymore, because they didn't have weak flesh anymore. Their mind, for the most part, was entirely converted into technology. Into, you know, they had, you know, robot brains. So all their stuff was still there, their memories and everything else, but most of their souls weren't, and they also had control chips to ensure that the Silent King still had complete control over them, as well as the other overlords and lords within the command structure. So the Necrons have, like, they have Lord and an Overlord, and then they have the Silent King. I think there might be a couple more ranks in there too. I don't know the Necrons currently, like, super well, but anyway, point is, now with that, with the power of the Catan, the technology the Catan could just whip up out of nowhere by simply thinking about it, and their legions of Necrons made from necrodermis, more of that living metal, so the metal literally repairs itself upon damage, in addition to insane levels of technology. They went out to war. And now, the old ones are getting knocked. They're getting clapped. I mean, like, this is brutal. So the old ones start panicking. They started making all kinds of stuff to go up against them. They made the Eldar. They made the Orc. well, at the time they're called the Quarks because they were bigger and better in every way. And they made the what's her name? What's their name? It's this minor alien race. 40k monkey race. What is that called? Jokero. They look like orangutans, but they're super good at tech. They're basically like they were the combat engineers. Quarks were the shock troopers and rank and file. The man pinged in chat. Oh, okay, that's sure. I'll look at that later. They made all these races and threw them at the Necrons. In the process of this, however, we don't know how long this war lasted, but entire species were thrown at each other. They had something kind of like nanites. They weren't quite nanites. No. The metal literally is living. The metal literally shifts. It's not nanites. It's literally in the composition of, like, the chemical composition of the metal. It's a fiction. It's a fantasy metal. Yeah. So, literally on the tabletop, there's a thing where when you kill a Necron unit, they have a chance, based on different types of dice rolls, to just get back up again, because their body stitched itself back together. Like, in front of you, while you're fighting them. Enjoy. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it gets worse. Their weapons, so their standard weapon type is called gauze. And what it does is that it actually takes you apart, layer of molecule by molecule by molecule, at hyperspeed. So they hit a fleshy target like a human, and they, within fragments of a second, turn to descriptionless dust. Sometime later, watch the look up like the official 40k trailer. It's for the launch of 9th edition, and it actually shows you what that looks like. It's pretty. Yeah, it's like instant mummification, but like all the way like a add on 1,000,000 years to a human instantly. That's what it does. Layer by layer, super fast. Yeah, it melts everything effectively. Like it takes things apart. There's not really much defense against it. Yeah. It's also said to be incredibly painful because it's not so fast that it kills you instantly. In fact, you can take glancing hits and it not kill you. It will reduce a part of you to dust. And I don't even want to think about the parts connecting those parts with you. But you know. This will not stay pink, by the way. I'm not trying to get pink. This is going to turn into other stuff. I have to do some like shading and glazing and stuff to this. This is just like my base coat, my starting point. Going actually for like a lightish burgundy color. And, you know the weapons that can do that kind of damage? That's their standard infantry weapon. That's just what, like, the average Joe Necron has. It gets worse from there. They have melee units that shift dimensions to go, like, through walls and stuff, for example, before taking you apart with phase blades. That just kind of remove matter by dimensionally dislocating it as it cuts through you. Yeah, get some armor that can handle that. I didn't think so. Oh, they have all types of insane nonsense. There's this one-shot relic thing that's super rare. It's called a Tracheon Arrow, and it's only given to like lords or overlords. And effectively, it's point at thing, shoot arrow, thing disappears. Like no matter what it hits, it's gone. There's a book where a guy shoots an Imperial Titan, and a Titan just explodes. I don't remember how it exactly works, but yeah, it's just I want that one thing dead and gone. It doesn't vanish, it blows up, it dies, whatever. Whatever energy is transferred, it removes that thing from being a threat. One shot killed it, whatever. I mean, when I say Imperial Titan, I mean like the ultra heavy. Okay, Imperial Titan, I think it hit a Warlord. A Warlord Titan is something like 90 meters of walking cathedral covered in guns, meant to level cities. 90 meters tall, by the way. Not 9 meters wide, 90 meters tall. Also, they're encased in layers upon layers of void shields that negates damage by shunting the energy into the warp until the reactor is overloaded. And a Tracheon Arrow is just gone. The Titan's gone. It's now wreckage. Again, I have to look up why it does that, but yeah, no, it's pretty bad. Generally speaking, Necrons are super overpowered because of their technology. That's just how it goes. So you have all of these quadrillions of casualties as the Necrons effectively try to annihilate all life in the galaxy, but especially the old ones and all these entire species. They are... Oh, by the way, these aren't species like made, I believe they're species altered. So these species like did come from somewhere. So there are like all of the non-combatant versions of these species somewhere. I mean, quirks sound... Well, at least mine orcs don't have a non-combatant aspect to them anymore, but, you know, still. Yeldar, for example, which reproduce, or they used to anyway, reproduce very quickly, for example. Caro, anything else that was alive at the time. Fortunately, they didn't really take a look at Earth, because Earth was not super long after the extinction of the dinos, so there wasn't a whole lot here, except some, like, muskrats. So, you know. So after that, so eventually they hit the point where the old ones have all but lost. There's only a few of them left. The Catan that are basically running the show are starting to get antsy because they're running out of stuff to kill and eat. And then this guy, the Deceiver, so the Catans also all have like kind of weird names. Like you have the Deceiver, the Outsider, the Void Dragon, the Nightbringer, stuff like that. The Deceiver goes to the other Catan and is like, hey, you know what would be cool? Let's like start fighting amongst ourselves and eating each other. And so the Catan are like, oh hey, yeah, that sounds great. Let's start doing that. And they started doing that. I mean, it's a little more nuanced than that, but I don't remember a lot of the details. So like, that's the footnote of it, effectively. So they started killing and eating each other, and it was around that time. I think it was around that time. Oh, maybe it was a little bit before that. I don't know. That there was a point. I'm trying to remember the order of these things. It's a lot of like, they're not necessarily connected, so it's not necessarily easy to figure out how this worked. So the Catans killing I think this is how it worked. The Catans killed and ate each other. And that gave the old ones just enough room to kind of push the Necrons back a fair bit. And then the Enslaver Plague happened. Which is... The Enslavers are a native organism to the warp that feed upon, well, more soul stuff. Basically, they eat psychic stuff. They're pretty nasty. You won't like them. Anyway, they were getting pretty bloated, numbers and literally, by all the souls everyone was shunting into the warp by killing them. So they spilled out into the material world and took out like everything that was psychic, pretty much, because they fed off like psychic people in particular. Guess who were psychic? The old ones, the Quarks, the Eldar, because that was the most efficient weapon against the Catan, because Catan are wholly physical material realm beings. So if you got psychic stuff, it works very well against them. Extremely well. Same with the Necrons. So the Enslavers came in and just like ate everyone. Because Locust Swarm of I'ma eat psychic people. So the old ones effectively wiped out. We've not heard anything of them since. But at this point the Catan are also weakened. Not by the Enslaver Plague, but by infighting. And the Silent King decides, you know what? Everyone else is pretty occupied. Now's my time to make my move. And he launches a counterattack against the Catan overlords. Against his Catan star gods. He takes all the Necrons and they clash against the Catan, and this is now like the third war in heaven, basically. Humongo casualties amongst the Necrons, but they do in fact beat the Catan. They shatter them. They can't kill them entirely. They're part of the material universe in a weird way, but they shatter them into shards. And the shards that are enough of anything to do anything, they capture and enslave. But they've taken so many casualties, so much damage, and about now is when the Enslaver Plague is dying down, and while the old ones are screwed, the Orcs and Eldar are actually doing pretty well, and the Eldar in particular, because they're not insane Quarks or Orcs or what have you. Are taking over the galaxy at this point. Like, they reproduce super fast, they live super long, so they have really good technology, they're super psychic. So the Necrons are like, screw it, we're gonna go into like hibernation, and we'll come back in, I don't know, 40 million years or whatever. And we'll just restart the war then when things are different. And so the Necrons faded from the galaxy because they all went into their tomb worlds, entire worlds filled with sleeping Necrons, waiting to come back to life to once more dominate the galaxy. And that's where they stayed for about 40 million years. You then had the fourth war in heaven that was completely Eldar based with their own gods and stuff, but that's a whole nother story. And yeah, destroy the world. Yeah, destroy tomb worlds. Well, it's a little hard to figure out what's a tomb world. They were pretty good at hiding them. So why that's important for Chaos is because that whole Enslaver Plague and everything, and all the warring that led up to that, it had kind of messed with the Sea of Souls, which is what the warp was before. It filled it with so much hate, fear, pain, death, and screaming souls ripped from their bodies by violent entities that they couldn't even understand their motivations, that it tainted the warp to the point of no return. And thus, now in the modern day, after many millions of years of that soup stewing, you've had one after another of the various of those various emotions coming together and eventually gaining a sense of consciousness. And he's turned into the 4 Chaos Gods. And these gods, as now the dominant species in the galaxy that has an effect on the warp are humans. They are made of all human dreams, desires, ambitions, and more than anything else, our nightmares, our fears, our hatreds, every negative emotion, more than anything else, because negative emotion fuels it more than positive ones do in the warp's current state. So if you've had a nightmare, that thing that caused you fear in that nightmare, that is a literal, living, hunting, hating demon in the warp that can come out and come for you. Now, because it has all emotions, it also has positive ones, like Korn, the Chaos God of blood, skulls, murder, and violent, like unrestrained, unnecessary violence, also represents honor and courage and martial capability, but not nearly as much as blood for the blood god. I care not from whence the blood flows, only that it flows. That's kind of his main shtick, because that's a lot more prevalent nowadays in 40k terms. Nurgle, Chaos God of disease, decay, and death, like just the essence of death. He also represents the cycle of life and rejuvenation and life itself, because of all the things that live off death. But also, he's gonna try to give you contagious cancer, because he likes that, and etc. etc. So when people fall to the warp, it's for 2 reasons. Either they're looking for, well, no, actually there's a lot. There's more reasons than I think about. There's reasons like the warp represents freedom in the sense of, like, it is the truest of meritocracies, but it's also the cruelest of meritocracies. In that if you please the gods, they will reward you greatly in power and yeah, I mean, it's just like, think of a potential super plague. Nurgle's trying to make it and then unleash it, and he thinks he's being generous by doing this. It's a whole thing. Where was I? Reasons to join Chaos. So you do right by the gods, they will reward you and greatly and all that. But the second you fail, you are as good as dead. Because if nothing else, they'll just remove their favor, give it to someone else, and someone else will happily kill you for your position. Because there is no loyalty. You are out for yourself. Everyone is. In the most aggressive way possible. There's also plenty that have joined Chaos because they've been left with no other choice because of the Imperium's many actions designed to fight Chaos has as often put loyal people at odds with the Imperium and ended up having to join Chaos, including an entire legion of Space Marines, the Thousand Sons, who were effectively forced to join Chaos because of mostly Imperial action. There was some sabotage from Chaos people to make that happen, but you know, you get the idea. Pandemic vibes much? Yeah, no, there was in the 40K community during the pandemic's height, there were a lot of Nurgle memes going around. That was the truth. A lot of 2020, the year of Nurgle. Nurgle is quite pleased. And memes about anti-vaxxers being followers of Nurgle and stuff like that. It's actually Nurgle with a U. Nani. N-U-R-L-G-E. Those are actually the guys that these guys follow, the Death Guard. That's why they're called Plague Marines. Yes, that is how you spell Nurgle. Sorry, I'm just focused on the painting right now. Yeah, power, misfortune, you might just literally be insane. Most insane people usually end up following Chaos, because Chaos is usually the reason they're insane. Chaos has a thing about turning people insane. Alright, I think there's one more step to pull all this together, and then that will make a lot more sense. Going to grab Reichland Flesh Shade. Gotta thin this down more. Yes, I've been going for 3 hours. I intend on hitting more. There we go. That's like the thinness I need. I will stretch after this wash is put down. I realize there's a whole facet of this marine I've not touched yet that I should do something about.
Water.
Yes, hydrate is also good.
Water. Water. Water.
I have been talking a lot, haven't I? Yes, that's the thing that usually happens when you talk a lot. Fortunately, I have backup water. I probably also needs a bathroom break. Ugh. Oh, well, there we go. Alright, that's gotta dry anyway, and I can properly assess how it looks. Although I think it's basically there, where it's basically at what I want. I will be back in a moment. Oh, hold on. I need to... I had not moved the new music source to all of my other screens. Alright. Start music back down a little bit. Have I played Among Us? I have played Among Us. I greatly enjoy Among Us. I'm also very good as a imposter. In fact, I don't think I have. Now, granted, I've not played a lot of games of Among Us. I've played a bit below over a dozen, but I've never lost as an imposter actually, or even got voted out for that matter. Also, I am enjoying real quickly a cheese stick because I wanna. That might very well be a thing that we... That was one of the community games I had in mind when I said community games for the Patreon thing. We just gotta figure out how to get the logistics to work on that. We could try looking into like super late Sunday nights. Like after my other D&D game. Which would end, let's see, you and Venom are both central, so it would end so my games end around 8 p.m. You guys? So, one of the things I realized I missed on this guy entirely is his armor seals. The soft seals. I'm trying to figure out what color to make them. I think I should make them the same non-metallic steel as the rest. I think. Be pretty easy. Yeah, Mike. I need more thinner. I also need to check this thing over here. Man, that thing's not really done anything. Oh, alright, well, weird. Anyway. Thinner, right. You still with us, Sai? You still alive? I think Sai's dead. Sai has died. Long live the Sai. Back with tea, nice. I am back with a vengeance. Nah, I'm just paying. I just got back with coffee. Nice. We are now all here. All three of us. Yeah, I can see that being. Oh, I forgot to put the light blue on that earpiece. Alright. I'm gonna do these. I'm gonna make a wash of blue. Darkish blue. I have hit the camera so much today, in a bunch of different ways. I didn't do his gut thing at all with the weight. It's like ab seals over here. Got a little electric bean grinder, so I grind up whole beans every morning. I French press that. I also use a French press to foam hot milk, so always gotta get a bunch of milk foam. Yeah, my ex used to do that. She had a Keurig, not a Keurig, a French press. She loved that thing. Alright, see how this wash works out. Oh, I already put on that one. Whatever. Keep tapping the phone holder thing with my brush. It's quite annoying. And I try to lean forward so my brush doesn't hit it, my glasses hit it instead. Just, really? Oh, gotta get that gut thing. Did that video already end? Oh, it might have loaded in towards the end. Alright, yeah. Yo, question for you guys. Where is everybody? Ah, it's just because it's Monday. Oh, I meant all the others. Our other buddies. Do be a Monday. I mean that's fair. You're not wrong there. I think that did pretty much what I wanted with the soft seals. I need to redo the back over here. But more viewers stream on the weekends, a lot more likely someone to have free time on the weekends, and that is actually fair. I have been considering maybe doing that. I don't know why the weekends have like no Twitch streamers. Yeah. Um. No, there is some validity to it. It's been weird because like every time I think about like not streaming on like Monday or Tuesday, suddenly I have like a super busy Monday or Tuesday. Like my numbers have not been consistent like at all ever as far as when's really active. So I mean, besides just tossing on another day streaming, which I guess I mean I could do, just there's still a lot of stuff I want to do to the admin stuff. So I'm trying to figure out like when I'm gonna do that. Like I'm already working like an average of 11 hours a day. I'm trying to stream for like something like what? Oh, as much as we could potentially hit 10 hours today of streaming. But yeah. You're right. I should try streaming Saturday. See what happens. Alright, I think I'm finally at that point where now the only thing I do for a while is just re-blacken everything that's supposed to be black in preparation for the next thing, for the next step. And it all needs to be once more black and all the mistakes fixed because I'm doing this volume style. So it's yeah, it's a lot of layers and stuff. A lot of mostly transparent layers, a lot of glazing, basically. But yeah, we're at the final step, I think. I can't find anything else on this dude that I have not hit. Cause yeah, I'm gonna make that black and... Alright. Oh. You know what? That thing's fine. I'm not gonna worry about the belt thing, whatever. It already kind of looks like it's a very like dull bronze or something down there just by like accident. So that's fine. Whatever. All right. Time to paint a lot of black. Start the little tire thing. Front wheel. So what's Cluster Duck about? Because I assume you want to tell us, and you brought it up. It's a duck hatchery. It's very odd, but it's also multiple people playing, or so it appears. Maybe a bit like the IO games, so have bots playing as people. Oh yeah, I remember the IO games. Actually, there was a while where I was playing a lot of those IO games. Those IO games are nothing but single player games with bots. I mean, that's fair. That's fine. I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. Even if you put in a multiplayer, it appears to be people playing when it actually isn't. So basically, Fortnite. Fortnite's got a lot of bots these days. Which isn't because they don't have people playing. They have an incredible amount of people playing. It's just to ensure that there's always a full lobby. I take it side is not like Fortnite. Oh, too bad it's not a Tuesday. And tonight I would raid my cousin and force Sai to watch Fortnite. It's my cousin streams Fortnite. Fork Knife isn't bad. No, it's not bad. It's actually a very good game. It's just it's had that poisoning of the well thing that happens when you have something become super popular. Then some people automatically get a bit of an impression against it because it's the popular thing. Especially popular with like younger kids. As a game, it's a very good game. It was actually my ex's favorite game, so we played a lot of it. Like I have on my account victory umbrellas from something like 15 different seasons. At least. Do I still play a lot of Fortnite? No, not really, because I spent like 4 years playing almost nothing but Fortnite. So I'm a little over Fortnite right now. I don't mind it here and there, but I have to play it with people outside. Don't really care. How's my ex-wife's favorite shooter? It makes sense. I was a Halo kid. Oh, I was too. Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield. Battlefield. So like Halo grabbed my heart, but my Battlefield was like my calling. I was so good at Battlefield that I legitimately nearly became corporately sponsored to play professionally. When I was, what, 16? Yeah, 16, 17. I was stupid good at Battlefield. Yeah, when Battlefield 3 hit, I was already, like, way up there in Bad Company 2. Like, when you spend most of a Battlefield game out of ammo looking for, like scavenging enemies' kits, to the point that that became your playstyle, like, you might be good at Battlefield. Casually ends game with triple-digit scores on the, like, triple-digit kill scores on the regular. I hate it and still hate COD. Fair enough. By the way, I mentioned like old COD. Like I was into old CODs, like Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2. I mean like World War II CODs. And then Call of Duty 4 was good. I played a lot of it. Call of Duty 5 was awesome. Modern Warfare 2 is really where I started to drop off. It was a good game. It just became too much for me, I guess. And that was when I was really getting into Battlefield. So like I didn't have that like military shooter itch. I was still every 3 years ago whip out my own 360 and play through all my old original copies of Halo from Combat Evolved up to 4. Oh, that's pretty cool. Just like Black Ops 3, I never even played Black Ops 3. I did play Black Ops 1. That wasn't bad. I didn't care for the multiplayer, but the campaign was pretty interesting. Partially because it was a sequel of World at War. But I don't think I ever even played Black Ops 2, honestly. I think I did for a little bit. Never even touched Advanced Warfare, whatever it was. I wasn't even gaming a lot at that time. Or I was playing Fortnite with my ex. That was about it. Huge fan of Zombies. Zombies was...
Workers opening in Sector 9. Oculus registering contacts number 87 rising. All exit stations. It's a Black Crusade.
Oh hey, it's been another hour and a half. Well, if anyone thought they were held back by the cooldown for the Cash for Chaos, now's your chance. I will actually get the timer going in case anyone else comes in. I should put like a little Black Crusade thing above it. Look into that later. Along with 1,000 other things. I wonder if there's a chance that I'll just get super good with the volume painting on this guy. Just careen through the black paint and like finish this guy today. I don't think it's likely, but I suppose it's technically possible considering how long I plan on streaming today. We're nearly at our 4th hour. I plan on just going until I hear the dinner bell, which is usually around 6. It's currently 4:40. By the way, uptime's mostly for you guys. I can only see my uptime because on one of my screens is the Twitch Stream Manager, and it just literally tells me. This is just like another reason why I kind of treat mods as almost like a joke for me right now. Because a lot of those technical things I've already like handled myself. Why, thank you, Sai. Basically be for mobile then. Yeah. Oh yeah, because you can on desktop you can see the session time on there as well, yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, mods. Yeah, I've definitely hit a point where I'm so self-reliant that most of these things I've figured out a way to ensure that I can handle it myself if need be, which ends up just becoming I just handle it myself. Or you do this. Hey Venom, add that to the list. Yeah, effectively. I mean, here's the thing. I could do that myself. It's just nice to have someone that I could say add that to the list and I don't have to stop painting. But it's not like I'm playing like a multiplayer game. I could just stop and just add dude myself. Is there any other black on this guy? Oh, there we go. There are some spots that need some stuff. And now that brand logo in the list might be changing to a new concept. I'm not sure now. Because I've been reconsidering like the entire branding of everything. again. Then, custom panel art. I mean, I guess that's fine. Well, no, well, I don't know what the panels would be because before it would match the brand, the main logo, but I might be changing that, so I don't know. I should get custom art in there at some point. Workout wheel camera setup, that's still a thing. Make tutorials, yeah, I still haven't made either of those. Not even sure what those would look like, to be honest. Add new product types to merch. I don't even know if I'm super caring about merch right now. Oh, the Emperor's Cruise, yeah, that's like almost like busy work at this point. Renew sub badges to match Patreon. Well, now I'm considering changing the Patreon branding, so that might not be the same thing either, so I gotta think about that. Update sound alerts, that's still a real thing. That was the thing I was talking about at the beginning of our conversation. Ram house and quote command, still want to do that. Clear the list was as a joke by Bree. Effectively, that will never leave the list until everything else on the list currently is done. Patreon alert, that should get set up. And then figure out my cousin's system where he says he has a system with OBS where he can play any music he wants but doesn't get picked up by copyright scanners by Twitch or YouTube. And he sent me screenshots of his setup, but they don't immediately apply to what I have because it is still an OBS, but it's not like one-to-one stuff, and I haven't been able to get him on a call to like explain to me like what I'm looking at and why it's set to stuff. So yeah, I might try sometime later. There's a few things that did catch my eye on it though. I might just Google, maybe able to figure it out. Oh yeah, like the OBS, so like it doesn't pick up music. Yeah. I think it has something to do with, I know it's just one setting. Let me make sure I even have it and that's not some plugin he has. 'Cause that's the other thing, you never know when something's a plugin on OBS, necessarily. Let's see, the settings, audio. Wait, under what is the picture? It's output, enable advanced curse settings, Twitch VOD track. Uses track 2. I think it's based around that. But I don't know what track 2 is based on. Yeah, no, like I have to look it up and stuff or get him on the phone, but he's not been super easy to get a hold of in a while. No, I did find the setting. It's just trying to figure out, like just now when I looked. I just need to figure out how it works exactly before I start using it. But yeah, then we can listen to anything we want, which would be great because I have the amount of music I would love to play on stream. I would love to just vibe out to. It's crazy. Like the whole stream would become instantly better. But I gotta be careful. Don't want to get screwed. My streamer? Copyright infringement? Never. Well, I know, right? It's my OBS. I can't. For some reason, I wasn't on OBS. There we go. I hit the thing with my brush. Camera. You know what's annoying is that actually a lot of these YouTube videos I've been using to say copyright-free music or Creative Commons music, and then it gets tagged and muted by Twitch anyway. Like individual tracks, they're people that have been paying attention might notice that some tracks you aren't hearing entire set lists anymore because I can't use the video unless I actually pay attention to it and skip a certain track every time. This is gonna be fun. Okay. I think, no, not quite yet. Almost. I'm quite close now. Very close. Exceedingly close. To beginning to paint the block. Finally. Second to last step. Last step is probably doing a little something with these controls. I don't know, there's some gold crap there. Alright. Time to volume paint an entire bike black. Says he's done, immediately finds spots he missed. Okay, I'm honestly not really caring for this specific track. Alright. Yeah, sorry, Twitch thing came up. Actually, I should check that other thing. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. Almost wonder if I should stop now and take a break. It's now been 5. It's now 5. Been streaming for 4 hours. I am feeling it. And doesn't really look like there's likely to be a significant pickup in traffic anytime soon. This dude's definitely coming along now. We're very nearly done. I'm going to guess today or, well, probably tomorrow. Almost certainly tomorrow this guy will be done. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, okay. I'm thinking of stopping here, which is when it normally ended anyway. And then I'll try looking at that music thing after I take a little break. Then I'll have food, and then we'll get back to streaming. Probably sometime between 7 and 8. We'll pick back up. And I might be talking to myself right now. Well, alright. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and I will catch you, hopefully in a couple hours. Have a good one, guys.